making deviled eggs to bring to a friend's birthday party. They're having the party poolside, so I wanted to bring a side dish that could be eaten there easily, but I'm fancying it up a little bit with some curry powder and salmon roe. So a different take on deviled eggs. I grew up in the Midwest, and my grandmother would always make deviled eggs at family get-togethers, especially in the summer. So this reminds me of that. Now, living in the South, deviled eggs have made a huge comeback, and you see them on lots of restaurant menus. So today, we're setting out to make some for our friend's party. So the first thing I have to do is get the eggs into a pot of water. So I've already filled my pot with water here, and I'm adding 14 eggs in here, even though we'll only end up with about 12, so that when we fill the eggs, they'll be nice and full. They won't look like they're understuffed. So we're getting our eggs into the water here. Then I'm going to turn my burner on and let this come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'll turn it off, put the lid on, and let them sit for about 10 minutes in that hot water. That way the eggs will cook through right to where we want them. Okay, so now that our eggs have sat in the warm water for about 10 minutes, we're going to transfer them to a bowl of ice water. Okay, so we want to just cool them down very quickly, and ice water will help to do that. And they'll be easier to peel after they've been sitting in that cold water for a little bit. So we're going to put them in here, let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to peel. Okay, so now that our eggs have cooled down a bit, we're actually going to start peeling them. So you can usually just kind of roll them on a flat surface. And sometimes peeling in water helps to get the peel off a little bit more easily and evenly. All right, so now it's time to just cut the eggs in half and get the centers out, which we'll mix with other ingredients to make that creamy filling. So I'm cutting just directly through from top to bottom. There we go. We've got a beautifully cooked yolk in the center. You can see there's no gray ring around the edges. Sometimes that happens with hard-boiled eggs, and that just means that they've cooked for too long. So at this point, you can just carefully pull that yolk right into a mixing bowl where you'll add all your other ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and get that done with the rest of these eggs, and then we'll talk about our filling. So we've got all our yolks in the bowl here. And to this, we're going to add a few ingredients. We've got some mayonnaise. We're looking for about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. We can always add more. All right. We're going to do a few squirts of Worcestershire sauce. Some vinegar. So this is going to help give it a little bit of a tart flavor, but so that it's not so, the mayonnaise isn't so oily and kind of thick and creamy. We've got some mustard powder. So mustard is traditional in deviled eggs. It's actually where the name comes from, deviled, because mustards were kind of considered spicy. You could use Dijon or regular mustard or grain mustard if you wanted a little texture in there too. We've got some hot curry powder. So this is what's going to make our deviled eggs a little bit fancier. We'll also make those yolks a little bit more yellow since it's naturally yellow in color. And some salt. All right, we want to season that up. So now just a matter of mashing everything together in here. And it'll come together kind of into a smooth mixture. You just want to keep mashing until you've got all of those chunks removed and it's one nice smooth mixture. Okay, so we have our filling, which is nice and smooth and creamy in here. I gave it a taste, added a little extra salt and a little bit extra mayo. This is the consistency that we're looking for. Now, you can either scoop or spoon it into your eggs. I like to use a piping bag just to make it look a little bit prettier. So the best way to do this is to get your tip into the bottom of your bag and then fold the top over like this so that you can kind of create a place for your hand to rest. When you scoop all of the filling in here, you can kind of use your hand as a way to remove it from your spatula. Like so. And we want to make sure we get every last bit in there. All right, so now with our pastry bag, we'll fold that top back over and use our fingers to kind of squeeze everything to the bottom here. Now the top, we'll just twist around and then I'll hold it in my dominant hand while my left hand just kind of guides. So I'll squeeze down in just like this. Next week's work on our garnishes, which should be pretty simple. So I've got some chives here. Chives are a member of the onion family. They're very, very mild. They'll just add a little bit of that flavor for us and some nice pretty color. So I'm just gonna slice across them. They usually come rubber banded together. I use that to kind of help me hold it all together while I'm chopping. Then we've got our salmon roe. All right, so it comes in a little jar like this. You can kind of see. And roe is basically the eggs from the salmon. They should be very briny and sweet tasting, kind of like the ocean. So they'll add a nice savory quality for us. And they kind of pop when you put them into your mouth. So the kind of liquid inside explodes and it's a nice sensation. Now I'm just gonna take a little spoon here. They do tend to want to stick together, which actually is good. It helps us with our garnish here. This wants to stick to your fingers a little too. But we can just get a few of those resting right on top. Take a few chives. And there are our deviled eggs. Curried deviled eggs with chives and salmon roe. All the garnishes are done, so now it's just time to taste. I like to take it in one bite so you get everything all at once. The saltiness from those salmon roe really complements the sweetness from the curry. And those salmon roe just kind of pop in your mouth and you get that briny, oceany flavor. The chives add a little bit of that hint of onion. And then right at the end, I get a little heat from that curry too. So lots of good balance going on there. I think my friends will really like these.